Hey, hey, welcome to Live with Lynn. So if you're here, say hi. If you're watching the replay, be sure to type replay so I know you were here. I'm Lynn Huber, and I appreciate you being here today. So today I'm going to talk about how to get out of a rut. We all go through periods where we feel like we might be stuck in a rut, right? Especially right now. I mean, this crazy pandemic is sort of holding us hostage. We can't get out and we can't do as much as we'd like. And so it's not uncommon to feel like you're just going through the motions or you're treading water or you're just jogging in place. You're doing the same old things, but it doesn't seem like you're actually getting anywhere. Hi, Anitra. Good morning. Excuse me. So things that used to, excite you start to feel less interesting. And instead of moving forward towards your goals, you're remaining stagnant. These things can be frustrating for sure. I mean, seriously, but there's things that you can do to not only figure out why you're stuck, but also to learn how to get motivated and excited again. So being stuck is something you might not even notice at first. I mean, these feelings often build slowly over time. Day after day, you might be following the same routines, and then eventually it just feels like you're working towards something and more less like you're working towards something and more like you're just killing time. So every day starts to feel the same, and you might even have trouble remembering what day of the week is it. I mean, is it Monday? Is it Friday? It doesn't matter because your days feel indistinguishable from one another. You feel like you're trying to get through another day, and your goal is just to keep putting one foot ahead of the other until that day is done, and you don't feel excited or inspired. Maybe you feel unmotivated, or you might want to take on some new projects or engage in some creative tasks, but it feels like your motivation is just gone. It's just run dry, and you just can't even seem to get started. You feel unfulfilled. Life feels dull and boring, and you want to try new things, but you don't know where to begin. You want to change, but you don't want the temporary discomfort that comes with it. And you know that changing things up will make you happier in the long run, but you keep sticking with the status quo because it means you won't have to risk any pain or failure. Or maybe you're telling yourself that you can't change right now because of the coronavirus. It's holding us back. It's holding us, we're having to stay at home or whatever, right? I mean, one important thing about being in a rut, though, is don't beat yourself up over this. Everyone in the entire world is going through the same thing, and it's normal to feel this way. Anitra says, I've been there when my days run into each other. Yeah, we all have. Every one of us have. And especially right now with this crazy virus and being semi stuck at home and semi out in the world, but not everything's open. And I mean, things just aren't normal right now, or we are dealing with a new normal right now. But it's normal for you to feel that way. And, it's easy to minimize the problem and try to make your feelings seem trivial. I mean, you might think, well, I have a great life, or I don't have a right to feel this way. But that's not true. It's not, because all of us, our lives are in an upheaval, and it's perfectly normal to have those kinds of feelings. But if you're having thoughts like that and you're beating yourself up, then it's going to keep you trapped in that rut. While things might be just fine as they are, if you're not satisfied, it's time to make changes and try to regain that spark. So once you've acknowledged what you're feeling, start looking for ways to get unstuck. So let's talk about some ideas about how to do that. So the first one is take care of yourself. First thing is to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Self-compassion is critical to your mental wellness. Have you been eating well? Are you sleeping enough? Have you been spending enough time with people who care about you and who you care about and who support you? If something's lacking in the self-care department, now's the time to address it. Healthy food, adequate sleep, daily exercise, social support, those are all essential to your physical and emotional health. And those things, I mean, you can't be happy really if you don't have those things. So taking care of yourself ensures that you have the energy to stay focused and excited about your life. Maybe look at changing your routines. It's hard to move forward or branch out if you're following the same routines day after day. We're all creatures of habit, and sometimes feeling stuck comes from boredom. Look for ways to add different experiences to your day. So Have some fun. Spending some time engaged in an activity that you truly love is good for your health. Whether it's hanging out with friends, safely, of course, masks or whatever, or pursuing a hobby, at a time set some time aside during the weekend. Focus your energy on having a good time. You need to be with your friends one way or another, whether it's on Zoom or whether it's in person, maybe in small groups, maybe social distance. But having time with your friends can be huge. It can be really good for you. Try something new, whether it's taking a new route to work or watching a new show or signing up for an online class. Exploring the world around you can add zest to your life. Be spontaneous. If you're bored with your life, live in the moment. Do things that are not pre-planned. Say yes to new experiences and don't be afraid to do the unexpected. Try going outside. Research has proven that being in nature has a positive effect on the brain, right? Nature walks are associated with decreased depression, with lowered stress, and increased mental well-being. And so not only can being outside increase your mental wellness, studies have shown that it also enhances your creativity as well. So next time you're feeling bogged down, try going out for a walk. Let go of the thoughts circling around in your brain and pay attention to the world around you. Allow yourself to relax, think of new things, and enjoy the beauty you see. If nothing else, it's just a great way to get some exercise, right? And you'll return to your everyday life with a renewed sense of wonder. Anitra says, excited to change my routine a bit, even my surroundings. Time for tomorrow. Yes, you're going camping, right? Awesome. You're going to have a great time, and that's going to be really good for you. Chris. Hi, Chris. Good to see you. Accept as many invitations as you can. Yes, because hanging out with people and doing things, those are good for you. Just because we have coronavirus going on doesn't mean you have to be locked up. You do need to be safe, but there's ways to be safe, right? Find your purpose. It's easy to fall into a rut when it feels like you're not really working towards anything. Having things to look forward to and a sense of purpose are actually key ingredients for motivation. So, for instance, life goals, related to your career or your relationships, they can provide that sense of purpose. If you're in business, figure out what you want out of it, set goals, and then create a plan to achieve those goals. Even small things, like even in your personal life, like having plans for Friday night, can lift your spirits because it gives you something to look forward to, right? So, yeah, and on that note, make plans, right? There's a great deal of power in anticipation. Sometimes you might look forward to existing events, such as maybe a movie that's coming out or your favorite holiday. But you can also create these moments intentionally. Call or text friends and make plans for Friday night, even if it's just dinner together over Zoom. Give yourself things to look forward to and get excited about. Don't overlook the little things either. Even small daily and weekly rewards, such as being able to go to your favorite place for lunch or turning on your favorite TV show once a week, those are great ways to build a sense of anticipation for the future too. And having a sense of purpose also comes from helping others. That's another way to create that purpose. Look for ways to contribute to your community, or focus on helping your friends and loved ones with a project, or participate in your church. Volunteer with a local organization. Such activities, they can give you a greater sense of purpose and meaning, and they're actually really good for your mental well-being too. And especially right now, there's all kinds of people that need help one way or another. And there's just something in your heart, something that when you do something good for others, it just makes you feel good, right? Sometimes getting out of a rut can happen spontaneously. I can't even say it. Spontaneously. It can just happen. You might feel stuck in a rut one day and then something suddenly automatically clicks into place and the feelings go away. But most of the time, you need to be more active. You need to take a more active approach. Anitra says, yes, we leave in the morning. I'll probably see you for your morning live. Awesome. And Dawn, hi, Dawn. Good to see you. So, Anitra, if I don't talk to you, have an amazing time. It's going to be good for you. So anyway, so most of the time, sometimes these feelings will just go away. Sometimes, it'll just happen, but most of the time you need to take a more active approach. So take small steps and keep moving forward. Pick something that you think you might like to pursue, such as a new hobby or workout program. Start small with something you know you can accomplish, but yet it's just outside your current skill level. So you have to stretch a little bit, right? Don't wait for motivation or inspiration to strike. You've got to get going. Just get going. So force yourself to get through that first step. Once you've mastered it, pick another small step and master that. And eventually, going through the motions will be a thing of the past, and you'll feel involved, excited, and interested in learning more. I did that with the treadmill. When it was shortly after this coronavirus started. I struggle with my weight already, and being home, and I mean I work from home, so I'm home all the time anyway. But I felt like I needed more exercise, right? And so I had to do that. I had to force myself. 5 minutes on the treadmill. Actually, I told myself 20 minutes. You can do it. Anybody can do 20 minutes. And I had to force myself. And now I'm doing an hour a day. I haven't missed a day in months. But I started small. I started 20 minutes, and then 25 minutes, and then 30 minutes. And I had to force myself. But you know what? And some days I had to force myself just to get going and do it. But now it's just like it's something that's part of my day, and I don't even question it anymore. So that's really what it is, right? You got to force yourself to get started. You got to do that. Anitra, another idea would be while you're doing your projects, listen to some of your favorite music to keep up your spirits. Yes, yes. And Chris says, just keep swimming. Famous words from Dory, right? And Anitra says, I love that. Yeah, well, if you're, and the other thing, one other thing I want to talk about, this is going longer than I wanted, but if you struggle with perfectionism, this can keep you stuck in the same place too. And hey, I am guilty, okay? But no matter how hard you try, it just seems like whatever you're working on is never good enough. And you've got to let that go. You got to. You need to squash your tendencies towards perfectionism right away and recognize that done is better than perfect. And I'm getting much better at that. I actually do pretty well with it now, but I sometimes. So rather than trying to make a project perfect, be satisfied with the fact that you completed it. If left unchecked, perfectionism can keep you spinning your wheels for a really long time. So focus on completing projects and moving forward rather than striving for perfection. Do it good, do it as best you can, right? But don't get so hung up on it. Because, if you screw up, that's how you make mistakes, right? Learn to make those, let yourself make those mistakes because that's how you learn. And embrace the fact that you've given your best effort. And if you know that you gave your best effort, then hey, that's great. You gave your best effort. Now move on. You don't have to keep going over it until it's perfect. Right? In time, you're going to be much more productive and creative when you're no longer tethered to that perfectionism. So just keep moving forward and working to make your life better. Remember, this crazy virus is here and it's going to be here for a while, but we are all going through this. This is not something that you're going through alone. Every single one of us is dealing with this. We are all going through it. We're all kind of maybe stuck in a rut from time to time. It's easy to get into that, right? But we are going to get through this. We're going to come out the other side. We always do, right? So, hey, now I'd love to hear from you. Do you feel like you've been in a rut lately? What kinds of things help you to pull yourself out of it? So please share your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. Thank you, Anitra. And oh boy, there's a lot of comments in here. Thank you, Anitra and Chris and Don, for being here today live with me, and anyone else who might be live that just didn't comment, and anyone who's watching the replay. I appreciate you. I really do. And Anitra, if I don't catch you before you leave, have an amazing camping trip. You're going to have fun. And so I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.